Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And last night in Manila. Been here for about 2 weeks, and heading back tonight. You know, as I was passing through on my way here, I was in South Korea, and then tomorrow I'll be in Japan. And you know, I really got to thinking, like, what is it about the Philippines that really appeals to me personally? You know, I love don't want to say it's the struggle, it's the fact that people are struggling. Like, you can see a homeless mother with her children on the street, and not saying that that is good, but there's a level of personal accountability here that I absolutely respect. And it's a little bit because it's like untamed a little bit, and still a little bit wild and not so rigid like the other Asian countries like Japan or South Korea, where everything is so formal. People here are just trying to get by, and they're trying to eat. But what really makes it unique is that they're not separatists, right? They don't have time for the social politics. They don't have time to be separated, and they still manage to be happy and interact. And you know, when I got off the plane, you know, I've really been thinking a lot about the channel and what exactly I'm doing and what's going on with it. And I tell you, the biggest feeling that I always get is just how connected everything is. Everybody's so integrated here. You know, everything feels so alive. You know, I can be at my house and not speak to anyone outside of a gas station attendant or a worker or a co-worker or something to do with business, and I can go days with that's the only like real interaction that I have. And it's not to say that it's everybody else's fault and I'm doing the right thing. It's something that's so ingrained in our culture and even into me that it's so isolating. We're supposed to be so connected, yet, you know, I feel, and then I think others feel, so alienated from everybody else. Everybody's locked in their own little bubble, their own little problem, their own little world, and listening to their own echo chambers, and they don't hear anybody else. You know, I sit here and I'm supposed to be leaving this quote unquote third world country here in just a few hours, and I dread it. I dread the isolation. I dread the quiet. I always feel, as even when I'm riding in a cab, when I first get here, every time, it's like so overwhelming, the thought of just the feeling of life, and that people are just together. You know, when you're sharing in the struggle of just surviving, which, once again, not to say that that's great, but there's a common element. While what we're doing back in the States is everybody is just fighting for another piece, and a bigger piece, a piece of more. And it's caused us to be detached from each other. I've said it before that everybody back home, it's like become like this social norm or social okay to just be a dick. And it's wrong on so many levels. And I can't take it. I don't want it. I don't want a bigger piece, a bigger piece of the isolation bubble, because it's like, all right, well, you know, I want a bigger house with a bigger room and a man cave and separate bedrooms and everybody independent. And then you come to a place like this and you have, as one of my friends said, everybody sleeping in one room like sardines. And we look at it as Westerners as uncivilized. And you know, the more time that I've spent here and away from back west, the more I see the bonding that it creates, the links in the chain. And this trip has been an unmitigated disaster, right? Everything that I planned on doing and everything that I wanted to do has fallen apart for one reason or another. And I still would rather have all of this and all of these problems than even deal with one nonsensical, useless problem that I have back in the States. And it's not even boredom. You know, I went out to the province, a place that I've only been to twice, a particular province out here in the Philippines. And, you know, people that had only met me once, like, came up and were happy to see me and just ask me how I've been and everything like this. They didn't want anything from me. They didn't need anything from me. They were just letting me know they were happy that I was there. I had more human interaction going back out to a province that I've only ever been to twice than I get all year at my own home, the place that I'm at 75% of the time. That's crazy. It's no wonder that there's people feeling so empty and alone, and why men say it, and I mean women too, everybody. And it's because there's like, when you're not fighting to a shared struggle, when the only struggle is just to get a bigger piece by cutting the throat of the person next to you, well, we see what we get. We get that. It's all over everything out west every day. I've lost a sense of purpose for all of those things, a sense of need or want or desire or anything to even have any of those things. All of it feels like shackles to me at this point. Like I'm fighting to get the bigger house, the bigger yard, the better car, the better this, the better that. And all they are is just handcuffs locking you up one bit at a time. You know, I miss as soon as I step off the plane, I always miss just the sound of a world alive. And it's not to say that you can't go to a major city in the US and find that same thing, but it's completely different. Like when I'm in bigger cities like New York, it just sounds like chaos, right? It sounds like anger and hostility is how it sounds to me. On a whole, you know, that's not everywhere and all the time, but that's what it sounds like. This sounds different. It sounds just like alive. You know, I have, like I said, more interactions of people just being polite and happy here than I ever get back home. Something is truly broken, truly. And it's not for me to say exactly what it is because there's a lot of nuance to it. But, you know, if there's a reason to follow my channel, I think it's just to supply that there's something else. There's something more than looking for the new Jordans or the nicer BMW or whatever. There's something more for sure. And I would challenge everybody to get away from all of that shit back home and take a look around. I think you'd quickly see that there's more than just that. Yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and kind of just give you some of my thoughts before I left. I've been kind of on hiatus with content because of, one, because I've been out of town, and then two, because of some technical issues. But you know, I'll be back soon, and I will be posting more. I just wanted to, just give you some thoughts, and that's Manila in the background, sitting here in the balcony of my room. And like and subscribe. I'll see you guys soon.